My next upload this evening is with regard to the issue of people power, and when people power is used collectively to cause unrest, or when people power is used to cause an unnatural situation. The issue of people power and the abuse of power and individuals that aspire and destruct and disrespect without acknowledging the facts and the rights and the principles, as I've always mentioned, are working contrary and contradictorily to the great purpose and the great work. So as I've mentioned, I'm a universal light worker. I'm a sacred royal, and I'm experiencing human rights abuses. Now, human rights abuses vary in strength and level and extent and time frame. Since I became a married mother, this has been happening. My community has been disrupted, and there's an unnatural situation occurring, and there's artificial progress, and there's sacred centuries of my bloodline and artificial developments of guilty culprits. Now, it's very dangerous when people try to rewrite the script. As we know from the past, it's been highlighted in many good works, and the point I'm making is when people are suffering from imposter syndrome, and when people try to aspire to be of a position, role or title that they aren't naturally of, and when they lie through their teeth, barefaced, shamelessly, blasphemously, defamatorily, slanderously, that raises questions about authenticity and integrity. And when people try to man-make a situation, artificial situation, and when they damage a community to try and control a circumstance, that's a very dangerous human rights abuse. So my hereditary is being assaulted and my community is in lockdown. The number of people in my community, my hometown, where my family have originated from, is the number has diminished. There's a demographic shift occurring due to individuals that are of spiritual violence. A very dangerous type of spiritual violence is occurring in Tralee, County Kerry in the southwest of Ireland, and it's treasonous. It's treasonous against Fernandez, it's treasonous against O'Sullivan, Quinlan, O'Regan, O'Higgins, all of the Griffins, all of the O'Connors, all of the McKelligans, all of my blood. These people that have orchestrated this artificial situation have failed on several previous attempts with regard to their practices, and their avoidance tactics have been very poor, and their practices have been very disrespectful. So I'm just highlighting in this upload what I'm tolerating with regard to human rights violations and individuals aspiring to be what they're not, disrupting the community and people and families' lives, and disrespecting the foundation of this country. The democracy's constitution is being disrespected. But worst of all, the government is aware since 2017 that my royal son has been harmed, and there have been frauds obstructing the course of justice. So I'm wondering, why hasn't the department relevant to this circumstance of the government not addressed the very dangerous spiritual violence that my child and I have been experiencing? The Ombudsman for Children has been hearing from me since 2017. Now, as a state ombudsman, one of the very serious issues I would like to bring to your attention is that your obligation is to respect the faith of the child, the rights of the child, and the safety of the child and the progress of the child. My child has been exposed to faith practices that I have not consented to and that are not of my family. My child has been exposed to circumstances that any ombudsman for children would not ever in this wide earthly world ever facilitate. So I'm wondering why the Ombudsman for Children has not addressed the problems that are being caused in a community that is in a very serious situation of spiritual treasonous violence. And I have been contacting that department of the government since 2017. Like any other child, my child is precious. My child is very precious. So there's a huge issue after being caused in this community that I'd appreciate being addressed, because I think it's quite poisonous and malicious and venomous to be negligent about a child's upbringing and progress, especially based on such dangerous, unlawful actions. So this matter of a precious child in a situation where there is a very, very insensitive, inconsiderate and disrespectful collective damaging hereditary ancestry, bloodline, faith since 2017. Exposing a child to that kind of a circumstance while his mother is only prepared, capable and competent to care for her child. Who is deciding to withhold my child from me, and who is orchestrating in this community damages to my bloodline and my property of my ancestors? There's a very dangerous issue of imposters being where they have no right to be and where they have no entitlement to be. And acquisitions from my bloodline and ancestry and my faith and family are all very blasphemous. So there's people being very disrespectful with regard to matrimony and the family unit. And I find it very surprising that anyone would be in a position to discuss my marriage or my child when they're strangers and non-entities. So the Government Department of the Ombudsman for Children, you are being made aware of treason against Garrod and Maria McElligott of Ardfort and Kilflin Holdings, farm holdings. This matter is of the utmost importance, and I'd appreciate you addressing the complaints procedure I commenced in 2017. As for the imposters aspiring and acquiring from my hereditary, I'd appreciate you respecting your own and respecting the boundaries and principles of faith and family.